I am going to ask Joanne to please take attendance. No, I want the secretary,
Okay,
so give her the sheet. Thank you.
I got it.
Okay.
Maureen? Yeah. Is here. Ruth Dries? Ruth, you're here?
We're taking attendance.
David? Yes. I did, yes, you're here. David Corness?
Here.
John Gray?
Yo.
Richard Handelsman?
Here.
John Hess?
Here.
Kelly Jansen?
Here.
Bobby Levin? Joyce Reese?
Yes.
And Stuart Richland?
Here.
Counselor Fabro?
Present.
Tricia Caputo?
Here.
David Boaz?
Here.
I'm here. Ed Grossman? Ed Grossman. Don Bernaggio is absent. David's absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. On the back of, excuse me, gentlemen, I need to keep this one meeting. We have a lot of stuff to cover, and we got to keep it short. So keep the conversations till after 3 o'clock when we're done. Thank you. Please review the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes as presented? They're on the back of the first sheet. Whenever you guys are ready, I'll entertain a motion in a second.
Motion to accept. Second.
Okay. Motion by Ruth Dries, seconded by Joyce. All in favor? Are there any corrections to the minutes? I'm sorry. No corrections? Motion to accept as presented. Raise your hand. I do. I want to make sure that it's on the record. All in favor? Thank you. All right. We're going to do Abby first. You want to do
Oh,
Abby?
that's what I was going to do first after you did your agenda.
Well, whatever you want to do.
I'm fine waiting for you to do this agenda.
Okay, I thought you were in a rush to leave.
I am, but I have till 3:30.
Oh, good. Well, meeting will end at 4. All right. Monica.
All right, first question. Everybody has, I think, your packet of typical monthly reports. Do you want me, considering we have a budget meeting today, is it necessary for me to review these? I think everybody's more than capable of reviewing them and understanding them. Okay, perfect. So we won't go over these. You go over them yourself. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to reach out to me, either by email or phone. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So with that, do we want to skip to new business?
We can.
Okay. Is there any objection from the committee that if we go straight to new business? No. So moved.
Okay, all right. So RFPs were sent out to all the committee members. One was for the Southampton pool replacement, and the other one is for the Kent pool project where we're going to do the, it's an 8.5-foot paver perimeter around the pools. Normally we do 4 feet. This is 8.5 feet because we have so many cracks on the deck that by doing 8.5 feet, we could get rid of a lot of that. All right. So what I'm asking is that we take a vote as to which vendor would get the job. So we're going to start with Southampton Roof first. Okay. All right. So we did have 3 bids. Budget amount for this project was $15,000. We have 3 bids. One, Crest Roofing at $11,527, Southern Coast at $14,294, and Dos Santos at $19,990. All right, so anybody have any questions? We'll open it to discussion.
We need a motion. I make a motion that we accept the lowest bid of $11,527, seconded by John. Okay,
That would be Crest Roofing.
Crest Roofing. All right, now you can discuss it.
Donald.
Is there any recommendation from management on which would be the best?
We used them all. We used all of them. We're fine. Anybody who put in there, we had no problems with.
Any other?
Who was the second?
Second was Southern Coast at 14,294.
Yeah.
I'd say call the question there, Fausto.
Yes, David?
Dan, or whomever, what is the cost, I know we're putting asphalt on asphalt. What would be the cost to have this roof done in a metal fashion?
It definitely would be more expensive.
How about the longevity?
I think if you look at the longevity of this particular asphalt roof, I don't think that it would pay for that in a recreational facility there, you know. One is a modern look to it, okay? Two, for the cost factor of it, I would just stick with the asphalt. It lasted over probably 15 years or more, you know.
Well, my thought is, since we are partners, we approach our partner, Dennison, with a cost for a metal roof. We would contribute the asphalt portion payment, see if they would be willing to pay the balance of the metal roof. I'm thinking long-term here, instead of, some of us may be here in 15 years, instead of going through that process again in 15 years, maybe they would be willing to share that expense with us.
If I have, one thing I have to just make a comment, I really don't know because of the metal roof. My experience in the 30-something years here through the hurricanes that I've been, I had never seen a metal roof, you know. And I know that's something over the 30 years that it has been coming about, but I don't think we've had a category 3 before to really see how these metal roofs would hold up, you know. I have seen the shingle roofs, you know, the 3-tier, you know, hold up to category 3 without a problem. I wouldn't go with the single, you know, but again, I couldn't tell you what a aluminum roof would be able to withstand, you know. They say, just like they say with the foam roofs and everything else, but I've seen all that stuff pull up, you know, the flat roofs. I just think that I have no question. I see it being put up in Pembroke Pines to the bigger and the associations portion, a lot of insulation. In this case, we wouldn't because it's not somebody living underneath it, you know. But my thing to you is that I don't have the experience to tell you that, other than what I hear that they'll say they'll give you 99, will withstand whatever category. So many, but I don't believe it would because I see all these flat roofs and all these foam roofs continue to fly off too on a category 3 and above. You know, shingle roofs they're a little bit safer too. You've just got tiles flying around compared to metal, and also I say the same thing with a barrel rooftop. You know. If I had a barrel rooftop when I lived in Deerfield hitting my house, I would have probably been destroyed, you know, but it was shingles, thank God, you know. So those are the only things. I can't tell you really how it would withstand. I've never heard anybody tell me something about them, how they would stand through a hurricane other than what you read, what they say they do, you know.
John?
I think from past experience, we know this is what they're going to say. I mean, you can ask them, but bottom line is they're not going to contribute. Okay? I mean, it's all on us. You know, it's either if you want to pay it now or pay it later. That's all I have to say.
David?
You know, we had an aluminum roof on one of the ranch homes we had up north, and the failure of it was the fasteners. And if you look at the roofs in Century Village that they've been putting on, they put a lot of fasteners on. And it all boils down to whether those neoprene washers last and the expansion contraction of the roof when the sun first hits it in the morning, possibly elongating the holes. You know, it's just a matter of, I'm personally more comfortable with an asphalt roof for those reasons. I think it's going to stay in place in most hurricanes with all the fasteners they put, but I won't guarantee the fastener after 35 years of what they're going to be and whether we get leaks on that.
Again, I say again, my experience in the metal roofs, I haven't seen any of them in the last 30 years through these hurricanes to withstand. I did see the shingle roofs, okay, in all the communities, okay. If the one or two peeled off on category 3, that's me, and Boca went, Deerfield and Boca went straight through the eye on that last one, and we didn't have any problems. I did have problems with all the ply roofs and flat roofs, okay, but they don't have any aluminum roofs, and now in Pembroke Pines, I'm starting to see aluminum roofs. So I'll tell you what happens in a hurricane if it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't in this area, but I still recommend, I personally recommend an asphalt with the cost for that building, for that particular building. Because it would stand for 15 years before.
Any other question? Joanne, could you call the vote, please?
All right. A motion was made by Fausto Fabro and seconded by was it John Gregg?
John Gregg, yeah.
Okay. To accept the Crest Roofing proposal, which is the lowest bidder for the Southampton roof project. And it was
$11,527,
527.
right? Was that the number, right?
527.
Maureen DeBeguer,
Yes.
Ruth Dries,
Yes.
David Fornes,
Yes.
John Gregg,
Yes.
Richard Handelsman,
Yes.
John Hess,
Yes.
Kelly Jensen,
Yes.
Bobby Levin,
Yes.
Joyce Reese,
Yes.
Stuart Richland,
Yes.
Fausto,
Yes.
Patricia,
Yes.
David Boaz,
Yes.
and I vote yes, and it's unanimously accepted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Second one, this is again the Kent Pool, 8.5-foot wet deck. Budgeted amount is $43,300. We have two bids. We have one for $44,918.50, and we have another one for $52,061.31. John?
Which one do you?
Dos Santos has done all our work so far at the pools, but it's considerably more than what the budget amount is.
That's the 50,
52,
and the other one's 44,
the other one's 45,
45,
7,000.
7,000.
We have the Chosen Group, and then we have Dos Santos. So Dos Santos is the one that's done all of our pools to date.
Eva, is this a critical project or is this a discretionary project?
It is, well,
I would say it's a safety.
at this point,
Safety.
Safety.
It's in the budget, so.
it is in the budget. You have $43,300 in the budget. Now, Chosen Group is the company that just did our catwalk. So they've done work for us. Just
And they're doing the locker,
a lot over it.
well, they're doing the locker room.
Oh, yeah, they're also doing the locker room.
So before we go any further, I need a motion before we can discuss it. So I need a motion. A motion for what?
I move that we accept the bid of Chosen Group.
Okay, I need a second.
I second.
Okay, John seconds the motion. Okay, now we can discuss it. Yes, David?
After making the motion, your experience so far with those two projects with Chosen Group, you've been happy with them on the catwalk?
We have a situation with the catwalk overall and some of all the projects that they have. They've been pretty good at doing their jobs, but in the catwalk right now, we have a coating that they're responding to the project. There's 2 leaks that are going through, which they're taking care of. Okay, and recoating and drying out, but unfortunately with the rain that we've been having, to let it dry out and recoat it again. They are waiting for that to dry out before they could coat it again with a weatherproof coat. But overall, they've done a really good job.
The second project that they're working on now, that they're going to get started, is the men's shower here in the main clubhouse. But that hasn't been, we haven't started that yet.
But they're working on Hastings, right?
No,
That's Dos Santos is working on Hastings.
Richard, you had your hand up?
No, I was gonna second or make a motion, it's
Okay,
not done.
all right. Any other questions? All right. Joanne, whenever you're ready.
Okay. David Fornes made a motion, seconded by John Gregg, to accept the bid by Chosen Group for the Kent Pool paver project for $44,950.
$918.50, did you say? 44,918.50.
Oh, 918.
'There's an extra
918.50.
2 bits in there.
Get it right.
4 bits, I'm sorry, 50.
Okay, 44,918.50.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, Maureen de Beguer,
Yes.
Ruth Dries,
Yes.
David Fornes,
Yes.
John Gregg,
Yes.
Richard Handelsman,
Yes,
John Hess,
Yes.
Kelly Jensen,
Yes.
Bobby Levin,
Yes.
Joyce Reese,
Yes.
Stuart Richland,
Yes.
Fausto Favreau,
Yes,
Tricia Caputo, David Boaz.
Yes.
I vote yes, and it's unanimously accepted.
Thank you. Okay, so now Fausto, then this is up to you. You've got your permanent
Oh.
guest list that you requested.
okay. To remind everybody, about 4 years ago, we found out that there were several units that are a large number of people on their permanent guest list. Some of them were in excess of 40. This committee voted to remove in January, everybody except for the top 10 people on that permanent guest list. That was never done because COVID hit. Now, we're having certain issues that I'm asking this committee to think about that permanent guest list. I know that you think it's a wonderful thing, but it's also a bad thing. In the office, we have family members that are coming in, aides that are being on that list, where the unit owner is either in a hospital, in a nursing home, is taken out of state, and people have access to the village being on that permanent guest list. Not today, but before, I would say probably October, November, I'm going to bring it back to this committee with a plan to make a change on that permanent guest list. I'm asking you to keep it on the back of your mind. If you have some suggestions on what you're thinking that we could do, I'm open to it. I'm in the office. Email me, stop by, put it in writing, and we will discuss it. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, all right. And, you know, this, we thought we were going to discuss this, but we're not. The last one, the indoor pool, the automated door project. That's on this budget year. So,
We're staying with it, still getting the prices on the doors.
correct.
Yes, John?
I make a motion, we close this meeting and open the next one.
Okay. Now, are we going to have this meeting open to anybody other than officers and board members of this committee?
Historically, we always have,
Okay.
until we got to the salaries portion, and then we made it a closed meeting and turned off the camera.
I'm just asking so that everybody's on board.
We have new people, I think so. I just want to make sure that everybody knows how we do that. Thank you. Man of your word.
Get 'em, girls.
So,
I don't know the order.
I'm coming to see all about and to learn more about her.
Okay,
Yes, I like that.
welcome.
Thank you.
She handles all the entertainment.
who doesn't have one?
I know this lady too.
Are the wait,
How are you?
Oh, my goodness, how are you?
are the salaries in this booklet?
I really don't know.
I don't know if we should.
Please sign in as a guest.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Would you,
I don't think so. Where did she go?
Fausto,
Yes.
are the salaries in this booklet?
No, sir.
No. No.
Thank you.
I know most people
Okay.
here. Victor's so long.
Does everyone have one now?
This is a long budget we gotta go through. I don't know when we'll get to those things that
I was talking to those guys, I couldn't come here. And I was talking to them.
Everybody should have one of these large sheets. As in the past, are they numbered so we get them back, or
No, they're not numbered.
are we gonna do as?
Yeah, you can keep them because I'm
Okay.
sure we're not gonna finish today, so.
Because I know in the past you've collected them.
Well, I always collect them when we're talking about salaries or anything, but
Right.
certain things, but these are okay.
Okay.
You can keep them because we won't get through everything today. We'll schedule a second meeting. And at that second meeting, I will have made the changes that you discussed today, and I'll have a whole new budget the next time we meet. Okay. Having said that, before we even get started, I'm surprised everybody's not flipping to page 8 of 8. If everything were approved as presented today, we're looking at the bottom line, an operating increase of $8.36 per unit per month. So I realize
In other words, $108 a year, basically, increase.
Now, that does include assuming that the hurricane deductible reserves and the contingency reserves remain the same that we're collecting now in 2023. Yes, John?
So we know that's going to go up.
I'm sorry?
We know that's going to go up. According to Florida, it's going to go up.
Yeah.
That's,
Quite considerable.
Right, but we emptied out the money, so now we're trying to get everything built back up. So
I know.
that's the
What-
issue,
what
how
I'm
fast
saying
you
is-
want to do that.
This coming year,
Oh, yeah.
it's going up big time.
what are you talking about specifically, John? What are you referencing? We
I'm talking
know
about-
insurance.
I'm talking about insurance.
The insurance is built into this. When we get to that line, you'll see that obviously our package insurance renews August 1st. So for this new budget year, we only have 3 months of the renewal in '24. But based on the advice I've been given, I assumed a 30% increase in premium
Right.
for the last 3 months of 2024.
Yeah, that's
So
30%.
that's built into this number.
Ours went up 30.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Okay, you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right, like we talked about, we're gonna let Abby go first.
Because I'm the easy one, I hope. Starting with, first of all, for those that were not in the meeting in March, just so you know, majority of these numbers have already been pre-approved. Why are they pre-approved? It's impossible for me to go to press and start to sell tickets for the season unless you had pre-approved it. So most of these have been pre-approved. If we start with line item number 9, we have a proposed budget of $227,600. Dances going down, line item 10, $8,500. A significant increase from this year to last year. because if you can see the projection that we're bringing in way more money than I had planned on bringing in for dances. So I kind of split it in the middle. And please remember, these are all guesstimates. I don't know, if it's gonna rain tonight and they're not gonna come to the show tonight, as an example. I just don't know these kind of things. I try to estimate as best as I can. Next line item is 42, that was income, by the way. And that was also based upon the committee's decision of the new ticket prices, which if it was under $5,000, it was a $10 ticket price, and anything over 11, sorry, missing community, confusing you with Pembroke. $11, anything under 5,000 or under, and anything above 5,000 was 13. That was Fausto's idea that the committee all agreed to, and I think it was a great decision. If you turn to line item number 42, and you go to Exhibit A, which is page 9, technically it doesn't say it, but it's page 9. This is the technical theater budget. You currently share a movie projector with Century Village, Boca, and Pembroke Pines, because in the event your movie projector goes down, which it has on several different occasions, we share one projector. That projector is over 10 years with a lifespan of 5 to 7. So in order to not have this massive expense of about $25,000, $26,000, and because it may never be used, but we want to have the backup so you can have movies, that expense would be 8867. If you approve it, we still have to get the others. You're our first budget meeting, we have to get the other 2 villages to approve it. So that's something that's very important, that we all work alongside each other, because it's not an expense. You would not want to have a $25,000 expense for something that you may never use. So it behooves us to share it. Sometimes you see, especially in the summer, these columns on the stage, especially when we have a singer with tracks, to just try and fill up the stage when we don't have musicians. Our columns are probably at least 15 years old. They're old and they're destroyed. We found some really, really nice new ones that we'd like to purchase. Is that mandatory? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Will it enhance the show, in my opinion, when you have a single body on the stage with tracks? Yes, I think it will. It's aesthetically, I think it's very pleasing. So I am going to tell you that if you have to cut something, cut that. But if you don't have to cut something, it would be my recommendation to do it. Everything else thereafter, we have to have the piano tuned. Our piano tunings went up a $25 increase this year, as is everything, gas, everybody wants a raise. The normal microphone, just maintenance items for the theater, gels for the lights, mics, cords, drum replacement heads. We hire what's called manual labor. It's called manpower. And this is instead of having additional employees. We have certain shows that we need them to help load in, load out, carry gear. And I'm not talking about drums or amps or anything major. I'm talking about scenery, things that need carrying in. So we have budgeted for 96 hours, that's $3,500. And you guys have a 17-year-old assisted listening system, which is by law you have to have this. That's number one. By law, you have to have a certain number of headsets. That all falls under the ADA. Many of yours are falling apart. Each year we continuously replace them, and so we're asking to replace it again. Replace the ear. It's the headpieces, I believe. It's not the system, it's the headpieces, correct. So that's $32,553 that we would like for you to consider. Just if you were to take out the labor and piano tunings, just for your edification, it would be $23,519. So it's really not a big hit this year at all. Our theater's basically running in great shape. Everything's working today. We never know. We have a major problem in another community where the screen is down and we can't get it up and we can't find labor to fix it. And we don't have motors. So when I say today everything's working great, as long as you give us the money to maintain it properly, we hope it will continue to work great. Yes.
Do we have any reserves specifically for theater equipment?
No.
That's something we should be looking at. This is very expensive equipment.
Yes, it is, but I think you have more important reserves than, you
No,
know,
I
with
know,
the,
it's just,
yeah, no.
if it all went
You know,
tomorrow,
if-
what would happen?
Well, yes, exactly.
Well,
But I think,
8,000 units.
I don't know when, it was certain, we have done some renovations, we have done some upgrading here, but I don't, yeah, we have done some as the years go on. Like I said, this year is a very low hit for you, because obviously I went to Steve Cohen, who's our technical director, and I said, look, these guys are getting killed with insurance. Please don't put anything on there that is not really, you know, so that's why I stressed to you on the second line item that I just talked about, the columns. If you have to cut something off of my budget, please do that, and don't cut anything else. If you can afford to, that $8,000, I think it makes a really great and really is enhancing to the shows.
Abby, would it pay to paint them and wait one more year?
Not really, they're a mess,
Okay.
yeah, and these are really nice and new and,
Richard, you had your hand up?
Is a motion necessary
Well, we're discussing the budget. We don't need a motion yet.
for this particular, no?
Well, we're going line by line. If you want to eliminate a line, and then if a line is eliminated, then you vote on what that amount is.
Okay.
Maureen?
What's the difference between the new decorative?
because these are lit, they're lighter. Ours are really, really heavy. We built them, I think Loren built them in however many years ago. They're totally falling apart. These are professional, they're really gorgeous. They're gonna be backlit, they're gonna have lighting, so it's much nicer.
I'm going to say, Abby, that I think John Skocek built them, maybe, that it wasn't Laurent, that they're
John
even
Skocek.
older, that they're even older than we think.
I don't even know who John Skocek is. Shows you where my memory is. Anyway, if you can afford it, great. If you can't, I understand. Line item number 64 is, I belong to two professional organizations to do buying for the talent. One is every year this year it's in Gainesville, and one every year in New York. So these are the, for me, this is the expense which you share with the other Century Villages for myself attending, and I bring Michelle, I will be bringing Michelle, my assistant, on this one to Gainesville. So she's aware of what's happening. The hospitality for the performers, there's about 20 shows that we have to feed, consisting of 313 people. And just so you understand, it's not, they come in here at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they rehearse, they have a lot of them come in buses. It's not like they can just run in cars to McDonald's and things like that. They want to eat healthy. They're here for 8 hours till they go on. So we don't serve any kind of elaborate meal. We don't go overboard. We used to do Boston Market. Eva has a new chicken place. So that's $6,700, and it also includes the coffee, the water, the sodas for backstage, tea, hot throat stuff. So that's $1,250 more than the previous year that we're asking for, because as you know, the cost of everything has gone up. Line item number 82, projecting to spend in the theater $280,600, which you can see based upon the projected. We're going to be spending about $285 this year. The dances did have a little bit of an increase. You can only imagine why. Gas, they all want more money. Movies, same thing. Movies did not go up, but we actually have we have New Year's Eve and we have another Saturday night that we are not having shows, so we're putting special movies in. So that's the justification for the increase in that. Line item number 90, there is a large increase there for obvious reasons: printing, cost of labor, cost of delivery, and we have also included in here what you approved this year, which is putting a season order ticket brochure into every UCO paper delivered to their home. So we're hoping that that will give more visibility to what's happening. Master of Ceremonies remains the same. Walter is still employed here. We're very happy with him. We have heard all good things. At David's request, we had his hat taken off. So assuming I haven't heard anything else, we're good to go.
Very good.
Line item 101, which is miscellaneous entertainment, is again my membership for conferences. The arts presenters, APAP is New York, my allocated expenses for my travel and hotel, etc. But that still remains the same. Once again, you share the cost with the other Century Villages. And I believe that is it for me. Any questions, concerns? I have heard from numerous of you individually by email or phone calls. Thank you for your comments on a variety of different things this summer and the season brochure. And word of mouth is the best thing that can be. So the most you can talk about. Any questions? If you want me to talk to a new homeowner that may move in, or you want to call me, I know you all have access to my cell phone number because you all use it, which is fine, and you're welcome to. Joyce.
I have a question. My building is having a board meeting September 12th, which is unusual. We haven't had one since the annual meeting. How would it be, we don't usually have that big a turnout, but how would it be if I brought like 20, would that be okay?
Absolutely, get them from the staff office, but if you do that, please make sure if you don't give them out,
Oh, no.
that you bring them back.
Of course, I know they're a lot of money, yes, yes. I also wanted to say that the backgrounds of the show Saturday night where you were showing the coming shows, I thought was fabulous.
Yeah.
The video.
And thanks to Joanne, she did something, we don't know what she did, and I'm not asking. But she did something, and it's showing now once or twice a day. Twice a day. And the same thing you're seeing there is showing twice a day, and she's gonna be upping it to 4 times a day shortly. So you're gonna also see the large banner in the lobby right now. You're gonna see that is gonna be a major change in a few weeks, where it's gonna have all the season shows on it. It's gonna remain up for the season, so there's that much more visibility. And anything else that you guys think that I can do, I'm happy to do it. I mean, we're here to sell tickets. I can only program, but I can't per se sell them. So I hope that I
Abby?
pick the right shows, yes.
Abby, Joshua Pearl, that's his name, the one Saturday night?
Yeah.
A Friday night? Yeah, he was very, very good.
The Friday night band.
Friday night dance.
Actually, it's very funny. I have asked, and I'm waiting for the outcome, because my staff is doing it, to get in touch with every band leader that works here. Because we're always getting complaints. And so far what I'm reading, and I actually maybe one day will share it with you all if you ever have any interest. West Palm is a tough crowd here. And
That's after they drink a lot.
yeah,
But the thing is, you should ask in the beginning, because I found that most of them are good. There's 1 or 2 that are really rude. I heard one man say something really rude.
but did he say it rude because he was provoked?
Yeah, but that's why I'm not commenting, I didn't tell you, so I don't know what.
Most of
Preceded
them,
it.
honestly, most of them are provoked by one resident.
Well, people get on the stage and they constantly say, do not come up here.
I
And
thought
I
he
can
had
tell
them-
you, it's still, well, I didn't see it Friday
I
night.
thought
Friday night was really
Eva
good.
had barriers or
Broken
something. Ropes up there.
No, Friday night was really good. I didn't see any problem, and he was great. He actually came down and said, are you people happy with the music? That was really good.
I will
Yeah.
add it to the list.
Yeah, and he was very lively too, which makes it easy.
You know, the other problem is that people come in at whatever, 7 o'clock, and they ask for the request after request, and he plays the request. And then next person comes in at 8:30 and wants the same
Right.
song. You know,
Right.
it's hard, and it's hard, you can't please them. We try.
You can't please everyone, believe me.
Believe me, I try.
They all want attention.
Yes.
There seems to be a lot of people that leave, they're leaving by 9:30, by 9:45. There is only a few scattered residents
But the bus leaves at 9.
left. Yeah, dancing on the dance floor. There was like nobody left this past Friday at 9:45. stuff early, which I guess is okay, right? That-
Fine.
Seems like by 9:30, everybody gets up. and-
Listen, they're contracted to play 3 hours.
I know, no, I'm just saying.
And they, you know, as long as there's no one in the room, if there's one person
That was not.
and they don't play, you need to tell me.
No, there was not one left, just the ushers were left.
Yeah, and I think starting it any earlier, then you're interfering really with dinner and it's, you know, I don't think that would. And it's not going to be cheaper if I just cut them to 2 hours, because it's their time driving here, setting up and whatever.
Do the buses stay till 10? I thought it was 9 on Fridays.
9 is the last run.
So what's the point of having them stay till 10?
Because maybe some people don't use the bus.
I don't use the bus.
I know that, but a lot of people do is what I'm saying. So those people. I know. I don't know the answer, I'm just commenting.
They knew that the bus would stay till 10 on Friday nights, then.
The buses stay till 10 on the shows.
Yes, yeah.
But they're here, David, aren't they here Friday to 10 also?
No.
David?
I thought that was strange.
No.
that-
No, you don't see them on Friday
That's why
night?
everybody leaves.
And to whom do I tell, aside from Eva, but just so I'm aware, if we know in advance a show is going to run longer because it's an intermission? Donald, Patricia?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, Patricia.
Now, son, here's the problem. We go under contract for a 90-minute show, but you know what happens with that. So, now we normally know when there's a 15 or 20-minute intermission. We typically know that, and we typically let Eva know that. The problem is that when it really runs over, sometimes we won't know, because if you're the first Century Village to have that show, it's a big problem. It's not so much a problem in Boca. If it happens in Boca, we know it and we immediately let you know. But there are always going to be situations that no matter how much in advance we advance shows and we try to get every piece of information out of the artists and, you know, traffic and accidents that happen and a show starts late, we try our best, but I will let them know, and I know Eva will always communicate it to you, but if we know in advance, we will certainly let you know.
Abby, we'll put this on the agenda of the next transportation meeting, and we'll put together a plan.
Okay, super.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, John.
For the next transportation committee meeting, can you put it on there, if the show's bus leaves at 10, the dance bus should leave at 10 also?
Do that.
Well, I mean, if half the people leave the dance floor at 9:30, why can't we have the bus stay an extra 30 minutes and take everybody home at 10 o'clock like they do the show?
John, in the interest of keeping this meeting moving,
I hear you.
let's wait till the
I said, can
transportation.
you bring it up at the next transportation meeting?
I thought you might be like that.
I like the idea.
Yeah,
I know, I have it down.
we'll work on it, John.
Thank you, sorry.
It was my house.
I think the bus was left
I don't know.
on a Friday.
Oh, no, okay,
Because some of the ushers, we let leave at 1:45,
okay,
so they could catch the bus to go home.
We're gonna
When I walk
discuss-
outside, anyway, I'm just saying.
We'll
I thought-
discuss
Maureen,
it.
we're gonna do this at the next transportation meeting, okay? Thank you.
Anything else transportation related? Anything else entertainment related? Please buy your tickets.
Okay.
Thank you.
My daughter even enjoyed it, she's young.
Thank you for the good shows you got.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Abby.
Bye, Abby.
Bye, Abby, have a good day.
It's a good flight, God willing.
Thanks for lunch.
Don't miss the bus.
I may miss the flight though.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have one other question.
Yes.
Line item. Line item, hold on. Damn, I lost. Hold on.
Are you talking about the $1,800?
Yes. Well, that and the 16,000.
What, for what?
Repertory theater.
Repertory does not fall, repertory does not fall under me.
That's not
That's
her.
a her.
Okay, we'll vote on that later.
Okay, yeah.
That's it?
Take that.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, in the interest of time, Mr. Cruz's time, we want to skip to the maintenance accounts. Is that okay? Okay, so page 2 of 8, starting on line 40, furniture and flooring and purchases. Ms. Eva?
Okay, well, we go through the security chairs pretty quick, so we're gonna need some more security chairs. We also have lobby furniture, which needs some attention. I was gonna bring pictures, I didn't, but, they're threadbare, yes.
Can I use the microphone? I didn't wear my earphones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Take,
Okay, yep, you're right.
get Abby's phone, move it over to us.
All right. All right, I'll start over. So we need to replace some of the security chairs. No, what would be it?
I recommend wrought iron.
Yeah. Well, also for the way they built the counters, we need them to be bar stool height. I think so. That's a little bit more expensive as well. The other thing on this line is lobby furniture. And it is in terrible shape. The lobby furniture. It's threadbare.
Yes.
We have it cleaned, but it just can't be cleaned anymore. It just looks dirty because it's just so worn out. So the question is, we can certainly check into having it reupholstered. I personally think the furniture itself is very sparse, very small, very unwelcoming. So we can look into it as to what we could do for $50,000. But this really does need some attention. We've not done anything with the furniture. We're talking about right now just the lobby, but it depends on what we could get done for the money that I would come back to you and tell you.
I would just say that reupholstering, because of the type of furniture, is not worth the reupholster. It would be expensive for the type of furniture.
Yeah, it's not the greatest.
Normally, it would be some of the furniture that we purchase in the other communities are high quality. High quality, and this was just bought. I don't know who actually bought this stuff, but it's not of quality. So if you're going to reupholster, it's going to cost you for that. It should be something that's a little bit more quality, and then you can reupholster. And I'd say yes for this.
I'm losing my phone. I think we should get all new furniture. I mean, I come here just every Saturday. It's pretty bad.
Well, what I think happened is when they redid the clubhouse, they overspent, and so they had set the chair rails at a certain height for the furniture that they were going to be purchasing, and then at the last minute, they canceled that order and ordered cheaper and less because they were over elsewhere on the budget, and then the chairs didn't match the chair rail height. That's how I know of this.
Can we get pictures of anything new that you're interested in?
I haven't even begun to look, but this was a last minute thing that was brought to my attention, and rightly so. I've mentioned it before, but we've never made any progress on that, so.
Thank you.
And the furniture will be of vinyl, it will not be of fabrics. It has to be fire resistant and some type of vinyl for clung.
Sure.
If you'll just wait one moment.
So Dan, we're talking about hospitality grade furniture?
Yes, there's medium, lower, middle, and very high end. I mean, I'm not looking at the high end, but it looks something that would be able to be refurbished if you had to down the road.
Yeah, John, I'm sorry.
Before we vote on this line item, I know we're gonna have more meetings here. I think we ought to have an estimate of some type, so, we vote on this for $52,000 and then 2 months from now, it's $75,000. So I think we ought to have a ballpark.
I think you can make a motion if you want to limit it to a number, not to exceed. Well, so they don't replace all the furniture, they replace half the furniture.
Right, so basically, we're talking the lobby furniture. If we were lucky enough to get in a good price and we could do a little bit more and extend it down the hallways, that's another story, but I personally think this is gonna be a project that we're gonna have to do over several years.
Then I make a motion
52 grand, no more, no less.
Okay. So you're gonna leave the 52,000 as presented in the budget,
Well, I don't.
not to exceed?
I think that's a little high, but,
Okay.
I'll say 52,000. I make a motion, we don't spend over 52,000.
So you have not to exceed 52,000 left in the budget.
I second that.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay, line 41 is mechanical equipment and maintenance. Primarily.
Oh, good. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is primarily contracts for the fire sprinklers, for the fire alarm, the fire line backflow inspections, and miscellaneous repairs, and like the art room, stained glass, the woodworking shop, and et cetera. The one big thing that is an increase here, and I'll let Dan address this, is replacing the fire alarm equipment at Hastings. These other items are routine contractual items that we have every year. But we're asking for $18,000 to replace the fire alarm equipment at Hastings.
Yes, the fire alarm system, thank God, it did work for us on Saturday where this air handler caught on fire and was able to summon the fire department to be able to turn that off. But the problem is getting parts. It's so old and antiquous that we can't get the parts for it. So I did talk to the contractor. We're safe till budget to change out, but again, because of the life safety item, it's something that we need to move forward with. Just to say one thing with this, when we changed over from the Siemens to here, we saved thousands and thousands of dollars. This will be a very big savings changing over to JE Fire, okay, when we change to the fire alarm system here in the clubhouse. Okay, so compared to what we have with Siemens. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. It's a system that anybody could work on it, okay? So it's not what's the terminology on that? Yes. But it will be the same type of system that we have here in the clubhouse. Okay.
Just so you can all take a gander on your way out. Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin, could you sit on that for me? Thank you very much.
Put your feet up,
So we're gonna keep line item 41 at $28,428? Okay.
Is this the same company that solved the problem in the lobby
Yes.
with the buzzing all the time?
Yes, we changed over. Remember, we had a Siemens contract prior to this, prior to the construction, okay? And it was going to cost us, just for the repair of that system, what we replaced the whole thing inside here, okay? So it's a massive savings, and again, a cost annually for us, and a savings of the cost. I think we also looked at the annual cost for servicing it, okay?
Just so you know, this was money that we asked for in this budget year, and we pushed it off. Thank goodness, when that towel burnt up in the women's sauna, that system worked.
That's 2 fires in that
Yeah,
Hastings.
very lucky.
And it's
Very
just a
lucky.
little quick story, because I know we got to do, but I think it was Friday, if I'm not mistaken, or Thursday, that I actually talked to the JA Fire to assure me that the system would work okay till November, that we replaced it, thank God, because the first thing I heard that there was a fire at Hastings, did the fire department come? And they did, so I was shaking a little bit there, that it wouldn't work, and I'd be in a lot of stuff with the insurance company.
One more question.
Okay, John?
This line item cost, I understand cost overruns. Is there expected to be a cost overrun on that?
Referencing.
The 18,000, I guess he's talking about the
Yeah.
upgrading of the fire alarm system in Hastings.
Unless the manufacturer increases anything like that, for right now, this is a price straight right now for replacement.
So you have an actual quote on
Yes,
that,
we have
right?
an actual quote.
So we got a quote on that, John.
And
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
this is something we plan on jumping on immediately when we get into the new budget. A lot of this work, we bring you prices, we get prices this summer, but we're not going to jump on it till next summer, and then, yes, we run into that all the time, price increases.
Okay.
You're up.
All right, ready to move to the next line item? Yes. Line item 43 is sports equipment and repair. The first thing on here that's causing this line item to be a bit higher than it typically is the purchase and installation of lighting under the awnings at the shuffleboard courts. The fixtures are $2,500 and the labor to install is $8,300, so a total of $10,800 for that project. Also purchasing lockers for the ladies' locker room at Hastings, $5,000, and miscellaneous repairs for sailing, petanque, etc., $3,000. So we're asking for $18,800. Any questions or discussion?
Yes, go ahead, Joyce.
I'm wondering why after all these years, we now want to put lights on the shuffleboard court.
Okay, so, number one, it's been requested, but you have to understand that the awnings themselves, though we have lighting out there, casts shadow. We also have experienced one of the hottest summers we've ever had, and we have more and more people playing at night to avoid the excessive heat during the day, because we started having summer weather in February. So, this is life safety.
Thank you.
David, go ahead.
It's sort of on the same subject since you brought it up, but in the Yuko reporter where they're talking about
reduced hours for shuffleboard play, closing at 4 o'clock. Again, health and safety, it's certainly a lot more pleasant going out after it's cooled down in the day.
Without question.
Yeah, so we're going to be closed now at 4 for shuffleboard.
No. I
That's
have groups that play at night.
That's in the Yuko reporter.
That might have been put in by mistake.
All right, I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, remember we discussed it, that maybe it was picked up, it was something that shouldn't have been put in there. The fill-ins. Remember we talked about
This was a fill-in, and actually it was a fill-in from COVID hours. It
Right.
talks about wearing one's mask, so it
That's
should
what
not
I
have put
thought.
in.
Yeah,
And I haven't looked at the paper yet, so I did not catch that.
Okay.
But yeah, what must wear face mask? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, are we going backwards?
Oh, please not.
Thank you, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, flip the switch.
Let me just address that. I got in touch with our publisher, and there's a lot of, whenever there's a void in the paper and something needs to be plugged in, he has a whole selection of things that he can just, as needed, put in. And he has a few that need to be corrected, updated, eliminated. So we're going to do just a total review of all his fillers. Some of them are going to be on TV, some of them are going to be corrected. So we're trying to coordinate all that with the paper and, getting all of our information up to date. So we're working on it. So David, I got your point.
And I totally appreciate all you do. I hate being any critical of the great work that you reporters doing and you guys are doing.
And we'll try to come up with additional current fillers. I'm going to have one about yellow caution tape, what that means and what's going to happen if you duck under, cross over, or just take it down completely. So yes, we've sold at least half the village by now since COVID, right? So we have a lot of new residents that need to be updated on things, so we're going to come up with a lot of fillers. More information.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Next line item 44 is landscape improvement. Ms. Eva is asking for $30,000 and we have an exhibit B. So if you could flip to the first page following page 8 of 8, this is where Abby was earlier. There's more detail on this request for $30,000 in landscape improvements.
Yes.
That's the ninth.
Yes, all right.
Okay, so the first line, Kent Pool, remove the ficus hedge and replace with foxtails and pampas grass. So I don't know how many of you were aware that we had an incident there. We had an incident over at the Kent Pool. Well, we had hedges completely around that pool deck, and I had removed the hedges so we could at least see the overhang and the tables where people played cards. And it was because of that that someone jogging by saw what was going on the Kent Pool deck and called it in, and we were able to react very quickly. Security drives by, we really don't get to see what's going on. And we really need to take down those old bushes. They're 50 years old. I don't know what the root system looks like under the decks. So that's one of our projects, that I want to take that down, put in some palm trees, put in some pampas grass, but still leave it low enough and open enough where security can see what's going on, and we'll also make it attractive. We continue to put river rock around instead of mulch, because mulch just disintegrates, and so the river rock lasts a lot longer. Main Clubhouse Island South Shoreline hedge removal. That cocoa plum's just been dying off, and we've want to replant dwarf clusia. All right, this is something that was required by the county, and we're just slowly losing it. It's just dying off. We also have soil erosion around the clubhouse. So before we'd have to paint the building first and then put the soil in, but it's getting down so low that we need to build it back up. So that's a project we're looking at. Kent Pool, we have a tree that died. I can't say why, and to me it looks either possessed or diseased. I don't know what. I think someone poisoned it actually. But anyway, we have that. We want to replace it with the Royal Poinciana, which is going to add a lot of beauty. And after that, it's also just miscellaneous irrigation repairs.
Any discussion? Yes, Dave?
Down by the waterfront where the boat,
Wait,
sorry,
one sec.
yes. Down at the waterfront where the sailboats are, there's a lot of erosion. It's almost like 10 inches deep in some of the places that have washed out. It's been a recurring problem. I know Dan's looked at it.
Yes.
They've suggested some things. It's certainly something in landscape that should be looked at just from health and safety. The ties are washed underneath them. Some of them are exposed. We really need to look at that and see what can be done without spending a whole lot of money, but
we tried our best with our portion of it. It's gonna have to be engineered there because the amount of water flow that comes down. When we put the pavers and the path up there, okay, it caused a whole difference. So the water hits that solid ground, comes down very hard. It basically goes down the stairwell and all. And also we have a problem on the left-hand side also where the water rushes down. It's because before it was all grass, and then we ended up putting pavers there, made it solid ground, and now there's no place for the water to go to, only the path that we directed it to, and it's straight to that beach underneath where those areas were. If it was all grass, it would never happen. So we have to get something engineered there to see what we could do to valley it, to be able to go somewhere else and reroute that. But it's definitely has to do something with some engineer just to take a look at us and give us, so we don't waste our money again on trying to do what we thought we could do. But we'll look into that. It shouldn't cost a few thousand to get somebody to design it properly, okay, and then get prices on it.
Yeah, John?
I'm sorry to keep bringing up stuff,
That's all right.
but we got here a dead tree replacement with a Royal Poinciana for $4,000. Please, give me a break. I'd say cut the tree down and forget about the Royal Poinciana for a while.
It's a big tree.
I know how big it is.
The largest portion of that is cutting the tree down.
I know.
Okay. Royal Poinciana is not gonna cost us
We've had trees in front of our building, higher than our building, and we've cut them down for a lot less, okay? I'm saying I say, forget about the Royal Poinciana, get 3 bids on the tree and take the cheapest one and cut it away.
Donald, you have
That's
your
my
hand
personal
up?
opinion.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me? There was, There are county requirements, John, for replacement of trees
I know
even when they
that,
die.
but-
And that has to do with shade footprint. As far as, I'm sorry, Judge, did you want me to continue?
No, yeah, go for it.
Okay. Royal Ponciana solves a lot of problems there because it has a very big shade footprint. So you just can't cut it. Let's make the place maintenance free. Let's cut down all the trees, not allowed.
No, I'm telling you, this tree is not a royal, this is a palm tree.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I
And
don't
a
know
palm
what it
tree
is,
is not
but
by
it is not a
definition
palm
a tree.
Okay.
We're talking about leafy
John-
deciduous trees.
Do you remember there was a group of men that were hanging out under that tree, under the shade? They were
Oh, yeah.
bringing their
I
own
remember
chairs?
that.
Okay, so if you remember that, picture the tree. It's got a massive trunk on it. It's massive. Old tree, probably 50
Okay.
years old.
No problem there.
Yeah.
I'll-
But listen, okay. Yep.
It's good that we discuss things.
Yeah, well,
That's
you know.
all.
Well, I'm gonna be asking to change out Seacrest, and maybe the new company, if you guys give me that money for the new company, they'll give us a better price.
Yeah, I'm sort of pissed at them too, so.
Okay. So, no changes to that line. Go ahead. We're left line 44.
Okay. 44.
Pass that.
Okay, next line item 45 is lamps and light bulbs. There's no increase in this budget line, it's just routine maintenance for bulbs and housings to replace incandescent bulbs at the main clubhouse, Hastings, and the parking lots. $7,500. Line 46, landscape maintenance. As you all know, Seacrest is our current vendor for maintenance of the recreation property. They've requested a 5% increase in their contract to $83,305. And we have a proposal from a new vendor, Yellowstone Landscaping, for $78,500 based on the same specifications that have been provided to Seacrest.
So those pictures that you just were looking at that were landscape-based, you know, very unhappy with them and the job that they're doing. One of the things, we have those small islands that we've redone in the main parking lot of the clubhouse, and we do curbing repair. It's dangerous otherwise. Well, instead of weed whacking those little islands, they're taking their big mowers, they're riding them up on those little islands, and then they're taking chunks out of the curbing that we're spending money to repair. That's just one of the things that they're doing. You know, the flowers out by the flagpole, 4 months to get those flowers changed out. We asked them to change them out the end of March, 4 months. So I've got a list, but I'm hoping that we'll make that change.
Go ahead, John.
I make a motion that we make that change.
All right, John.
I second it.
I understand about Seacrest, they tore out all our flower beds,
It's terrible.
knocked down our wall for our lines, you know, it's been a constant battle with them for the last year.
Yeah. Well, I have a concrete table out by the lookout.
Yeah.
And one of their guys knocked the mower right into it, knocked everything down. They don't even bother to tell you.
Yes.
I've got dead palms. They don't even tell you that a palm tree might be in trouble. We could do something to help it. That's business for them. We don't hear a word. We just find a dead palm tree. So, yeah, I'm done with them.
Yeah,
I hope you all are too. Yeah.
They give me more
I'm all for
trouble,
that.
more work to do.
Yeah, Richard, go ahead, you got your hand up.
Can a guest speak on the Seacrest issue? She wishes to.
I've lived here for 20 years.
Go ahead.
So make
Go ahead.
five,
Yell,
95
yell.
minutes, Sarah, if you can.
We'll give you 3 minutes.
All I'm saying is every time Seacrest come to my building, they ruin something, they crack windows, they throw more work for me to do. After they've done what they do, they give me more work to do. They don't clear anything away. The grass is dying because there are so many weeds on top, just killing the grass underneath.
Okay.
And the grass is, here's the edge of the head, and here's the grass.
Yeah. Sarah, I think you painted a great picture there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Dave?
Yes, David. Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't think it's fair to compare a association's problems with the company. I've never had problems with Seacrest, but then there are different levels of service that you pay from that. So not everybody has the same level of service, so I don't think that's a fair comparison.
That's fine, but that's going to be for, you can all keep that in mind when you're working on your UCO budget, right?
Right.
What she had to say about the buildings.
That's what I said.
So, that's the building, I understand.
Can't bring that into it.
John,
Do we have to vote on that to change that?
I think if you're gonna change vendor, you're gonna need a vote on
I
that.
think so, yeah.
I made a motion for that.
Okay,
I seconded it.
so there's a motion made by John, seconded by Joyce, to replace Seacrest with Yellowstone Landscaping
Yes.
for the 2023-24 budget for WPRF. Is that, yes, David?
It's a start.
What do we know about Yellowstone Landscape?
That's
Do we
ready
use
to
them
say.
anywhere?
Yes, we actually, this contractor comes from Deerfield Beach, and I know that you disagreed with Maximum, okay, so plenty of time because of cost. Maximum takes care of the recreation areas in Deerfield Beach, and Yellowstone takes care of the common area for the master management over there. And talking with them, okay, they're very satisfied with them. That's why I decided, because I went over there myself, I have somebody that lives there too, so I was able to look at Deerfield. Deerfield has improved drastically over the years. Recreation's always looked good because of Maximum being over there, but the associations were always having a hard time there, and has caught up to where it looks pretty decent walking around through there, plus they're building a new park, so talking to the master management people there, they are satisfied with the vendor.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any more discussion on this motion? Joanne, take a vote, please.
There's a motion made by John Gregg, seconded by Joyce Reese, to replace Seacrest with Yellowstone for landscaping of recreational areas for the 2023-2024 budget year. Maureen Devigier,
Yes.
Ruth Dries,
Yes.
David Fornes,
Yes.
John Gregg,
Yes.
Richard Handelsman,
Yes.
John Hess,
Yes.
Kelly Jensen,
Yes.
Bobby Levin, Joyce Reese,
Yes.
Stuart Richland,
Yes.
Fausto Fabro,
Yes.
Patricia Caputo,
Yes.
David Boaz,
Yes.
and I vote yes, so it's unanimous. Approved.
Thank you.
Okay, next is
I
line
just
item.
have one question. When the tree died, did anybody test the soil to see if the soil was poisoned or was that a major contributor to the demise of that tree?
No, have not, and I would not put the new tree in the same exact spot. I'd move it.
But I would check that soil anyway because we don't know what contributed to the death of that tree.
Yeah, I don't,
And, whatever may have been in there could have spread with the rain and water and infected another area where they possibly put the tree in, and you could have the same problem again.
the grass is growing. You know, it was a bone of contention about those guys being out there. So I had to put up a sign, no loitering, you know, we managed to get rid of them, but it was said, somebody had mentioned something about maybe just killing the tree so they'd go somewhere else. So that just stuck in the back of my mind. I really don't know. It looks funny to me. Could have been struck by lightning, I don't know.
Okay.
But we certainly can test the soil, but that's gonna cost you money to test the soil.
Yeah, it's not that very expensive.
No, it's not. It's not. We can do it.
But the Ponciana, they're sensitive, so maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along, line 47 is pool sanitation. This is the cost of the chemicals to treat the pools and keep them sanitary and so that everybody's healthy. If you had a pool at home, you would know that the cost of chlorine and all these chemicals has really been going through the roof. In fact, the briquettes that we purchase to use for our system have gone up 10% since last October. So this is a bit of an increase. We're asking for $61,000 for the pool chemicals this year.
Anything about it?
Can't do it, it's just a chlorine cost that went up, everybody's, and in my pool, everywhere it's gone.
Close one pool.
No.
Okay, moving right along line 48 is your pool area maintenance. This is a big line item, so if you could flip to Exhibit C, which is going to follow the exhibit page we were just on for landscape improvements. Dan or Eva, you want to take
But
this?
start off and I'll jump in.
Okay. All right, so the guest pool, after we get the Kent pool done with the pavered perimeter, the guest pool is the last pool to finish up that particular project. All right, so there we went out, we can just stick with the 4 feet instead of having to extend it out, and that's at a price of $72,000. Then you've got your general repair and maintenance for 10 pools, interior, exterior. That includes 5 satellites, 3 main clubhouse, and 2 at Hastings, total of $55,000. Southampton pool, ADA, or add ADA, unisex restroom and replace restroom partitions in existing restrooms. That's also been an ongoing project that we've been doing.
5 years.
At least.
I just
No.
want to say something on that. Every Century Village, including Deerfield, okay, has extensively renovated their recreational facilities. This one here, other than doing our pools, we have not touched any of these pool houses for over 60, some of them 60 years, you know? So that's a long time. We know when we open up these pool houses, there's going to be deterioration behind there. I can just see it here at the Hastings, okay, and that's inside. Can't imagine what these other ones will be. But lifting them up, we do have to go to ADA. And if we would have started this project 5 years ago, everybody keeps an eye, we could have been already done and having a maintenance program maintaining this stuff. So, and that's where I've been pushing the other communities, okay, especially Pembroke Pines that has 27 satellite areas costing millions and millions of dollars, okay, because the same thing, think that you could just not do something and the cost piles up, okay? And when you have 27 satellite areas, that's a lot to catch up on. With yours, you have 5 satellites, very easy to catch up, okay? And get this thing over with, okay, and maintain, you know, for future. But it does have to be brought up to ADA, and what I've come up with in Pembroke Pines, and they accepted it, and I'm pretty sure they would accept it here also, is that just having ADA bathroom made on the outside, okay, where I don't have to revamp the other ones, okay, just basically retile them, put them as is back in place with new partitions, new tile, where I don't have to dig up the ground, put new pipes, which is very costly to do both men's and ladies' rooms, okay. So it's cost effective to do it that way, and they accepted it in Pembroke Pines, which we're finishing up a pool there for the first time, doing one there, and it's literally saved them probably about $30,000 to $40,000. Okay, so the same thing here, because you have to tear up the whole ground, okay, to put all new pipes and put those ADA bathrooms in the right area, you know, toilets in the right place. But it's something that we really got to look at to move forward. I think we already, if I'm not mistaken, either we did the plans for that, if not, we had the plans made for that, okay? So let's say, for instance, if the cost, everything's going up, construction is one thing that's been crazy, okay? I've been going through this for the last 3 years between the theater and Boca Raton and all this construction projects that I have going on. Everything has gone up. Whatever you thought something cost, and if you were in commercial work, okay, a door takes 2 months to get. It's a fire door, motors, everything that I've been doing, okay, has gone up considerably and hard to get, especially certain types of air conditioning units, and you saw that here. I mean, I just finished up the hood that took 6 months to order, okay, from Carrier. So it is complicated out there. I try to say if we're going to do something, we got to start them early. One, permits are taking a longer time, okay? Structural permits are taking even longer because of what happened down there. It's a whole different world, you know, from 2 or 3 years ago, okay? But I really am pushing to make sure that we move forward and stay on a program. And in this case, it could be a 5-year program, okay? Doing one pool at a time. You've done the pools themselves already. The pool houses would be great to do one at a time, you know, and get them out of the way. And then we start that routine of keeping them up, maintaining them in our program, okay? And it should never get to this place. What I say is, some of this maintenance that you see here that's going on, the 50-something thousand, I'm telling them to replace certain things like partitions, because if we do the ADA bathroom, the partitions can be saved, okay, reused, okay? We go with the PVCs, okay, knowing that it's gonna last. New doors, new sink, anything that we put in there that we could reuse, okay? So when we revamp the bathroom, we're only paying for certain things, okay, inside there instead of the whole project, okay? But I still want to keep moving forward with partitions that are falling apart, things that are just not in good shape, you know, and doors that are falling apart. So we will reuse them if we go this way with the ADA bathroom being on the outside separately. And every one of them I looked at can be done this way, including with the laundry facilities that you have. We can cut out an area there, put the ADA inside there, and make it self-sufficient. Okay.
Dorchester Pool, replace the fence. So I don't know, we've had this project maybe 4 times on the budget, and we've always traded it for something else. One year was for Abby's fireproof, fire-rated curtains in the theater, I remember. So it's the smallest pool, therefore it would be the least expensive to get done, but listen, again, to me, it's necessary. I think we need to get it done. We're rusting. We've tried to paint things black, but it's just a mess. We need to go with the newer, updated fence. That's at $32,000. Replace roof at Camden Pool House at $18,000. Engineering and relocating the indoor pool exhaust fan. Again, I cannot stress this one enough that the reverberation in that pool area, you can't even hear yourself talk, never mind think. Okay, it's horrible. It's supposed to be relaxing in there. Got that beautiful mural in there, and then you go in there, and so we want to get it out. All right, so that would be, the engineering would be at $6,500. Replace doors at the worst satellite pool houses, that's $5,000, and recover the canvas awning at the Hastings pool deck is $21,000. It's, the old one is done, it's stretched, it's water pools in it when it rains, and also the structure is completely pulling away from the building. So at $2,100, you know, we get that done.
I have a question. On the Dorchester pool, that's replacing the whole pool perimeter fence, right?
Correct.
Because this says mechanical fence, that makes it sound like it's behind the water heaters.
Oh, not for that price, not for $32,000. It's the whole
Well,
fence.
that's what my question was. I just want to make sure.
It's the whole fence.
The whole fence.
Whole fence. And again, this is going to kick off a new, you know, another project that we're going to go around and do each pool each year.
I remember about 6 years ago, they said we were going to replace it.
We kept trading it
We
for
kept
other
trading it
things.
for something else.
So,
Yes, John?
I was just gonna say, we put this off for the
Yeah.
last 5 or 6 years.
we have, yes.
We've always said, hey, let's cancel this and do something else.
I'm not talking about canceling. When I saw mechanical, I was assuming the fence around the mechanical. That's why,
Whole perimeter.
the perimeter, right?
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, the entire pool repairs and maintenance budget, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should approve it as is. You
Right.
gotta keep up with what you've got.
Yes, it's a total of $230,600, so yes.
It is what.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Will it be the same kind of fence?
Maureen has her hand up.
Okay, we agree.
No.
Yay.
Maureen has a question.
Next.
Will-
Maureen, you have a question?
Will it be the same basic kind of fence that's there now, or something a little bit more concealed?
What we have, we're going to do exactly what we have at the main guest pool and at the Hastings. We're going to upgrade
Oh,
with the anodized, beautiful bronze anodized fencing. It will look beautiful. Get away from that penitentiary look.
yes. So when I look out my windows, I'll see beautiful.
Beautiful, you'll see beautiful.
We'll raise our maintenance for the week.
That was our pool too at one time.
Let's go, we're doing good.
Right, so that finishes up our, anybody else want to discuss anything else on Exhibit C? Pool repair and maintenance?
Do it.
Okay, so that brings us back to page 3 of 8 to line 49, tennis and pickleball court maintenance. We're expected to come in a bit over budget this year because we had some unexpected pickleball repairs at courts 5 and 6. We have some additional repairs at courts 1 through 4 that need to be made. And then we always have costs for miscellaneous supplies and repairs for nets and wind screens, etc. So we're asking for $4,000 this year versus the $3,000 we asked for the current year.
Go for it.
Okay. Line 50, elevator maintenance. These are maintenance, contractual maintenance agreements with Delaware Elevator for the main clubhouse elevator, and the Hastings Lifts is a contract with Coastal Elevator, and miscellaneous repairs. A total budget is $7,120, which is a significant decrease from our current year budget. Okay. Line 51, janitorial contract. Glow is our current janitorial contractor, and they, even though their contract expires October 31, they're not asking for a price increase. So we're currently paying them $29,295 a month. Plus they do the exterior main clubhouse window cleaning annually, and they charge us $2,675 for that. Or we have an alternative to Glow, American Restaurant Services, $308,400 annually, which includes all paper products and their sanitation supplies. They would do the exterior window cleanings for $900. The confirmed, the scope of work is identical between the two providers, so if you chose to change providers and go with American Restaurants, the savings of $43,000.
So if you'll remember, we brought this to you last year, but at the time, they really didn't have any experience down at Pembroke Pines. They were brand new. And I know that was important to you. You wanted to know their history and that that they were appreciated and thought they were doing a good job. And so in speaking with Carlos, the administrator down there, he did say that he was happy with the work that they're doing. Okay, so just wanted to let you know that.
Go ahead, Joyce.
It was pointed out to me yesterday that in the conference room at the UCO office, that they had not done a good job over the weekend. The table was still dirty from the activity we had. There was potato salad, and Rick had pointed it out.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that they're not so terrific, maybe.
John?
This is,
So what? I'm just saying.
this is a $40,000 decrease if we change companies.
Right.
But the cleaners at Glow are really good. I like those, but I don't know if they'll come with them or not,
So I don't know if they would change shirts. That's a good question.
Yeah.
But American said that they would accept anybody who wanted to stay. So there's that. They will do UCO will receive the exact same services that they're getting with Glow. All right, we're not unhappy with Glow either, but it's our job to try to save you money. And if this came in at $40,000 lower, we have to at least tell you, again, the choice is yours.
Well, the ticket's $108 a year for each person, and they can go down a couple of dollars. I make a motion that we switch companies for $40,000 and save $40,000.
Do we have a second on that?
I second.
Richard, okay.
I second.
Richard, you had your hand up, what else?
I was going to make the motion, he beat
Okay.
me to it, I seconded.
Donald.
All right, I have questions about this proposal, which I have not seen. As we know, Glow provides daily janitorial service to 4 buildings owned by UCO. They also provide quarterly and periodic service that we receive no invoice for. Specifically, quarterly roof cleaning, quarterly exterior cleaning of the buildings and the sidewalks, and quarterly deep interior cleaning. I've not had any site visit from the proposed vendor, so I'm wondering if Are we sure that there won't be any additional?
Well, I wasn't aware that they were doing some roof cleaning. Are they
They
the
do
ones
every-
doing your,
they do
your pools?
absolutely everything I'm sorry.
Okay,
They do absolutely everything I asked them to do with no invoice. So my worry here is 40,000 can go away, most of it can go away pretty fast with all this periodic work that's just getting done on the arm.
Donald, can you get me a list of what they're doing?
I just gave it to you.
Well, the roof cleaning, okay, so they're doing
Roof cleaning.
We know that they're doing the deep cleaning at Yuko itself.
Minimum of 4 times a year, unless somebody gets COVID and then there's extra. We do the exterior cleaning, the sidewalks. They do the sidewalks on our walkways, our pedestrian entrances, pretty much all of that. It's a extensive list. And I'm a little concerned that the proposing vendor never did a site visit on the Yuko property. So I would hate to start seeing invoices for stuff that I'm not getting now.
Okay, so I'm gonna say let's table this and let me reach out and, Yes, yeah.
Before you go, I had some other concerns.
okay.
Thank you. In addition to the work that Yuko does, Will does for us, they also do paid work for us, which has nothing to do with your contract.
Mhm.
Specifically, Ebert delivers our community newspaper every month. Twice a day, he does the litter and palm frond patrol and does minor repairs, on our common area.
But he's paid separately. That-
Paid separately,
Okay.
and again, we need to know what the cost would be, the hourly cost, billable rate on that.
Well, I thought you said you're paying him for that.
Yeah, we are, but will the new vendor honor the same, there's no way to know. And this could be quite a bit of money. I see this 40,000 really evaporated. If it turns out that we're gonna be charged for all this stuff.
Okay, but this, Yuko is paying him for this extra stuff to deliver the papers and to
Indeed.
do those things. So that we wouldn't be asking
Wouldn't
American for that.
Well, from our point of view, money is money is money, pocket is pocket is pocket. So, again, this is a service that we contract for separately.
Right.
And it'd be nice to see the vendors, since in that case, they are our vendor.
I'll arrange it.
Yeah, so I would suggest a tabling.
I'll pull my motion then.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Let's table it so we can get this
Table it.
additional information to them and we can be 100% sure.
I think a site visit is in order, at the very least.
Okay, I thought that he went,
If he was in one of my buildings, I would know it.
I know he didn't, I don't know.
you can confirm that he did, but I don't think, obviously then we didn't hook him up with you and I think that's what we need to do. Okay? Okay.
Okay, now I shoot one question.
I knew where you were going.
Okay, next line item is 52, janitorial supplies. This is for the purchase of our trash liners, our hand soap, and hand sanitizers, and umbrella bags. We're asking for the same budget we had this year, $11,500.
But if we switch contract, that's included,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes,
So we're gonna have to hold off on that,
that's another 11,500 from that to 40,000.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Line
was 52.
53 is air conditioning contract. This is relatively the same budget we had this year. The maintenance contract is with Airco for the main clubhouse in Hastings. The contract includes UCO equipment repairs excluding compressors. The annual contract's $19,200. We're budgeting for 12 coil clean-ins at $4,800. The annual maintenance for the contract for the cooling towers with AIG, $3,708. It would ask for a 5% increase. And your chiller contract, maintenance contract with Debonair, $5,956, so $33,664. Line 54, air conditioning, non-contract. Obviously, I have to mention that we're significantly over budget this year by 1.3 million, because obviously last year when we did our budget in August of last year, we had assumed the air conditioning project would be finished in last year's budget. Well, we know we're still not finished, and it's a year later, so. But that excess over budget has been covered by or offset by use of reserve funds. So we're asking for a budget of $82,100, and if you could go to Exhibit D, there's more detail there.
Yeah, I have a question on that. Why are we removing and replacing an air conditioning unit in the hobby shop?
Because that was not part of the program. Okay, the hobby shop was never in the contract of the air conditioning.
Yeah, but when we spoke to the engineer designed a new system, we forgot to show him the hobby room?
That was, what are we talking about, 2018?
2000.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's just, and it's a small unit above the, I was trying to, I'm gonna tell you, there's two ceiling units, okay? That are, one is in the ID office, okay? And the other one is in the wood shop. It's very hard to maintain, they're up in the ceiling above, and also the wood shop because it's so high. I was trying to see if I could get them down on the ground to redo it, but it's just too costly, okay? So I have to replace them as is. I'm going to increase by a half ton just because it needs it, okay, inside there. And it'll last for another 20 years. Those units are not like the other ones that we have, the bigger ones that we have in the clubhouse. All right, so that's why they probably weren't even in the scope of the work, and they were 2018, what, 5 years now, right? 5 years ago.
They're 5 years older.
So they, remember, anything that was under the 10-year mark, they left alone. So we still had some units that have to, still might be replaced down the road.
Okay.
And to get the air conditioning, to talk about that, this we're on the building final, that's what we're waiting for. We just had, I don't know if you noticed the fire alarm going off, so we got.
We were here.
Fire final with that, smoke bombs everywhere. Everything worked very well. Everything's meeting all the standards for the engineer, okay? Humidity. I'm gonna bring something up because she's gonna bring it up here with electrical, okay? And I have discussed this before, that because of the type of system that we have for air conditioning, the way we remove humidity is through heat, electric heat, okay? Now that it's working, it wasn't working before, you're having a more electrical cost, okay? But all the stuff that we've done, like the LED, the new chillers, have, it really, if you didn't do all that stuff, the cost would be even higher. Plus, FP&L is just continuing to keep going up with fuel costs. And it will, when this, you see the fuel going up right now, they brought it down, but I'm guaranteeing within the next month or two, we're gonna see these things going back up, okay? But we do have a heavy increase in electrical, okay? And that is because that's how you're keeping the humidity out of this. We can't use boilers and steam like they do up north. It would be very costly to do that and change all your air handlers to 2 different coils. So this is the way they went about it. Plus, this clubhouse compared to, and that's why I was trying to explain to them, is that we have low voltage here. We have 208 three-phase compared to my other clubhouses that have 480. So that if that was the case, it'd be, you wouldn't even see this increase on the stuff that we did if that was from 480 to the thing. But it is a lot of electric heat that now is working. Most people thought it was to heat the clubhouse. It wasn't. It was always put into effect to remove the humidity. It just wasn't working properly before.
Maybe we could bring a few more politicians in, spend more time here. Lots of hot air floating around would help us out.
Probably that'll help. I just wanted to explain that just in case, because you're going to see electric bill. Okay?
The third line item on here is replaced in the oldest unit at Hastings. This is unit number 4, which is the unit that caught on fire this past weekend. And unfortunately, the cost to replace it exceeds our deductible.
This is a,
Does not accept.
this is something that we're doing, we're going to be doing now. I just sent the lady email, but this is the one that takes care of the lobby in there. It needs to be replaced, so we're going to be doing that now. It's down right now, okay? It's not worth, I can't replace that air handler. It's an old air handler, wouldn't be mixed with the 2 Freons on the units. So we are going to go forward with that, with your permission to move forward because it's down at this point. So that lobby, I don't want to keep that lobby down for that long of a period of time.
Is this E?
Yes, yes it is. No, it's D. Well,
D.
D, line D, and then line 3, replace the oldest unit at Hastings. So it was already on this, we were going to present it to you, but
But he
The
said.
motor seized and it didn't shut down, and so it pumped smoke into the building, but that was it, just smoke.
But he said the deductible didn't cover it.
No, deductible has jumped now. Monica, you said deductible is now 25,000?
$25,000 is the
So we have to pay the
deductible.
whole 15.
Yes.
Okay, that's all we're getting right now to replace.
Actually, it was 15 yesterday, which was our guess, but we got a proposal this morning, right, Asia? To replace this unit, a formal proposal, and it's $20,901.
So it's higher.
So this is basically 15 should be 20.
Yes. Unfortunately, should be 21, really.
21. That's without cost overruns, of course.
What's the tonnage on that, Dan?
5 ton?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's more than that.
So it's $6,000
No,
more
it's not.
right now.
tons, you said?
It's not a 5 ton. I'll get back to you, I'm sorry. There's so many of them, there's a few inside there.
That's kind of high.
Well, it is, these are a little bit more costly than you put on your top of your things, okay, because they're commercial.
Our air conditioner went out, half of it, you go.
Really not comparable. Two different animals.
But this has to be done now, right?
Yes, yes. And I'll go, they just got the price, so, yesterday, so I'm gonna look into it, but I'll get back with you exactly the tonnage, okay, and, but it's something that we have to do now to replace, so. I will look into it and I'll get back with you on everything, exact price and making sure, okay? But that just came in yesterday because we were trying to
Came in
push it.
this morning,
Or this
actually.
morning, so I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Yeah. And then the last item on here is the changing the oil on the cooling tower, $9,900. I don't know anything about that.
You can't cut that.
The cooling tower oil change, $9,900. It's on your
Yeah.
exhibit, Dan. Exhibit D. Yeah.
You can't mess with the cooling towers.
Yeah.
You gotta
No,
prove that.
again, let me just, I'll look at that one, okay, too, please. Because that's the first one. Full tire oil change, we're on 3. On the transmission, is that what it's for? And it was something that came up on the maintenance issue, or it never?
It's something that we started last year, but because of the project and what we needed to do, we didn't do it, so it's on this coming project here.
Okay. All right, let me just check on that real quick for you, I'm sorry. Not prepared for that one. So those two, when the next time we'll meet up, I'll plan for that. But I'll have her call you, because I'm gonna, whatever it takes time period to get this unit ordered, okay, for the Hastings or something, but I'll check on the pricing.
I think he already, didn't he say age of 4 to 6 weeks
I believe so, yes.
for delivery?
I'm trying to look up the email right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
They don't stop anything. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Billiards. That's why we have these posts in this room to help hold them up, because it's also heavy.
I was going to do that.
No, it's the same, yeah.
We're waiting for, we should be online. 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys, I'm sorry, I'll get back with you on those two.
Okay.
Okay. So, next line item is line 55. We're again back on page 3 of 8, which is the contract for the controls for the air conditioning. This is the same budget that we had the current year with BAS, plus $1,000 for non-covered expenses, $18,160. Line 56 is pest control. This is a multitude of things. It's basically the same budget we have this year. The vendors Marty's Bugs for the annual service for the main clubhouse and the pools. This is the interior for the clubhouse and the exterior. including lawn control. Also, the annual renewal of our dry wood termite service, the annual renewal of the subterranean termites for the main clubhouse, $5,000 in miscellaneous pest control, such as beehives, iguanas, ducks, etc. And the midges, spraying for the midges at the main clubhouse shoreline, assuming 4 treatments a year. So the total pest control budget, $22,655.
I just got one question. Does this cover vermin against, say, you get a vermin infestation in your building? Does this contract cover that?
What vermin are we talking about?
Talking about
Two-legged
mice
or
and
which
rats.
ones? Mice and rats. Of course, you see the black boxes everywhere.
I know, I'm talking about inside the building. If they get inside the building, does this cover the removal of it?
Yes.
Are we charging them rent?
Yeah.
Well, I know, they look like little criminals with their hands tied behind their backs, but we're talking about iguana removal. And I'm very happy with Trapper Jay. He should have his own TV show. And he's improved his cages. He includes video now, so he can see when there's something in his cages. And he's very thoughtful. At one point, he had 4 or 5 of them in a cage, and it was sunlight, it was daylight. So he asked Kevin to go out there and add some branches over the top to keep them more comfortable until he could get there to, you know. Well, we don't bash them here on the head now, Donald, come on.
What does he do with the iguanas?
We don't want
He
to
takes them back up to Port St. Lucie. They cannot let them loose. So what do we think he does with them?
I heard people eat them.
I think the
Just
smaller
don't
ones,
ask
they
to be
may
happy,
sell,
okay?
they may sell salad stores,
Then I'll,
because there's different types of, not the iguanas, there's these other little things that he catches that might go to pet stores. But listen, I think iguana meat is $60 or $65 a pound. That's-
People eat it, I don't know.
I've heard people eat them.
They
They
eat,
do.
they eat alligator, you eat all kinds of things.
They're an invasive species.
Richard, you got your hand up?
Yes, Richard.
This line item mentions the main clubhouse only. I was at Hastings this morning when Marty's folks came by and sprayed, at least in the gym. So where's the coverage for Hastings and Marty's?
It's all included, so
Included.
we would just have to add Hastings next to
Okay,
the clubhouse, yeah.
I just
Any
wanna make it
information,
clear.
yeah.
I know that Sarah wants her aerobics room bug sprayed.
I know.
Okay.
Did you lose your membership there?
All right, ready to move on?
Yes, we are.
Line 57 is your general maintenance and repairs. This is a big item, so
Line E.
I recommend we go to Exhibit E. Okay, Dan.
Okay, the first item here is the roof replacement. Okay, this is the flat roof and the shingle roof. As we were going through this project with the air conditioning up on the roof of the theater, where they replaced the 3 units, I had someone walk in on the shingle roof through there and actually put their their foot right straight through it. So there's a lot of rotted wood too. And remember, we did this roof in 2005 with the shingle. Okay. We've tried our best to maintain the flat roof, okay, by putting coatings and stuff on it, but I continue to keep getting problems there on the theater side of it. Now that we've replaced all the units, we don't have that leak that we were having from that one particular unit, but I still have a lot of bubbles up there on the flat roof, okay, which is just eventually going to get worse, okay?
That flat roof was redone in
2005, 2000.
And the shingle roof is 2004 and 5 following
Wilma.
Francis and Jean.
Yes.
Wilma
So we have-
next year. Francis
We've more
and Jean.
exceeded the life expectancy of that roof up there, and we've done as much as we can. And the plywood is easy to replace, okay? We don't know how much damage in that area. I just know that we put new pieces and redid that work and temporarily fixed it for the time being. But it's definitely time to get that resealed. The other thing that I discussed with the engineer, this is Jack Brown's We use them in all the Century Villages. They're probably one of the original engineers down here for all these roofs. But I made him aware of how we have the parapet walls that exceed through the roof line to make sure we coat that properly and seal that properly, okay? It's kind of weird how it's made into 3 sections like that, and it gives us more penetration, which unfortunately I can't cut out. It's too costly to do. He's basically going to be, he gave me a conservative number here, okay? And it'll be put out for bid, okay? But this is what he came back with, and this is from the engineer. General maintenance for recreation property based on historical, got 120,000. Excuse me, go ahead.
While you're doing the bidding process, could you just bid a metal roof? Because I think we're going to have the same questions next time. So that's got a life expectancy of 40 to 70 years versus...
What I'll do to answer your question, if I could get him in here, I'll get the engineer, since he's been doing this for all his life, okay, on the roofing. Maybe he can answer some of these questions on for you a little better and have better answers on that for you too. Okay?
Thank you.
General maintenance, 120,000. We have, we've already did the engineering for the lift station, okay? This lift station is in really bad shape. What I've done in the past of the other Century Villages, I've basically handed over the lift stations to the counties and the cities, okay? Unfortunately, this one here, I couldn't do that because of the condition of this thing. It's just basically 2 pumps in a hole, okay? We've had problems with this thing in the past where it actually, that's why you see the grass so green over there by the pool, between the guest pool and it's very fertile over there, okay, when these pumps are not working. We've spent some money on the pumps, but this needs like a whole alarm system, a whole system that tells you to be able to switch automatically, the whole works, okay. So we have an engineer, and so far with the price that we got of one vendor, we'll put it out for bid again, but it's $110,000, okay. But this is very necessary. We looked at, this has been going on for 2-3 years. Just because of COVID, it slowed down, but we, just for health reasons, okay? And if I ever wanted to hand this, or you wanted to hand this over to the county, it has to be in good condition, you know? I think it's better for them to maintain this thing. They know what they're doing out there with these things. We just try to make this work for us right now for the clubhouse, and it only functions for the clubhouse in between the guest pool and the resident pool. Switching the Hastings Gym. I know we've talked about this, okay, and you asked me to get a price, okay, to redo this. Now, the $62,000, okay, is because you always tell us to make sure that we do the whole thing, okay, not to go back to it. And that is to change ceiling tiles, change lights to LEDs, to upgrade them because we got the more efficient LED fixtures. Painting, the electrical inside there. I'm going to have her send this out around because we have a picture.
We have a layout.
Of all the equipment.
Everybody's been handed one, right? Everybody has this? No. Oh, I thought you were giving it out. I'm sorry.
I got one question. Are you moving the wall?
No. We're switching the rooms. So, the aerobics,
It's gonna be in the little room. Yeah.
Jim's gonna move over to the aerobics room, and then the aerobics will move over to the gym.
I wanted to tell you the 62, but there is a minimum, okay, if we decide just to do, and you'll see the hip wall there with the electrical, if we paint, it's another quote here, which I have here, which is in the 20,000 range, okay? But I wanted to leave it up to you if you wanted to do the whole room, okay? Or just for right now to exchange it from one end to the other, you know?
So, what I've got is,
That's why they want to switch the rooms.
Okay. So inside, yes, the aerobics room has a stage there. We're removing.
Where do you want to paint?
They're both rooms we're going to have to paint, you know, due to the fact that we're updated.
Okay.
So after we come through the walls and get the electric inside there, and the hip wall, as you can see where these treadmills are going to go, reposition all the TV screens, okay? Again, this is something that we did in Boca Raton because the expansion over the last 10, 15 years, the gym is the selling point, okay, in Boca Raton, all right? The same way here over the last probably 10, 15 years, look at what we expanded to from. I remember Deerfield having just a 10 by 10 foot and the treadmill and something else inside there, that's about it. Now we have these massive gyms, okay? Before it used to be billiard rooms, okay, now it's gyms, okay? So it's something that's gonna sell for the future in this place, so. And for the trip hazard that we had, where how these treadmills are positioned in there, they're very tight, they move. How we're gonna station these things, they're gonna stay in place and give you a lot of space to walk around inside there, and again, for expansion. Okay, so my cost, if I did it, again, $62,000 for everything. That's to circuits, electrical. We have handrails, which I decided not to do with the stage. We were going to keep the stage, and we're going to try to make it nice and fancy. You go up there, you can do like stretch exercise and everything. But the cost of the rails and the ramp was way too costly. You know?
How long would this take?
Remember, we wouldn't change it over, okay, until we finished the aerobics room. So the aerobics people would probably be delayed more than the gym would be closed, okay? So as soon as we finished whatever is being done in the aerobics room to transfer over, in a day's time to 2 days' time, we could have the equipment back over there. So, but the work that has to be done, it could be anywhere between 2 weeks to 3 weeks on that side of the aerobics side.
Yeah, I thought it'd be longer, thank you.
And again, I have a price here of $22,900, okay? And that again is just to put the treadmills as you see them there, to run the electric and all through there, to paint both rooms, including moving over all the TVs and things like that that you would need to function, not to do the ceiling, not to do the lights, okay, which is a big room, you know, the cost is pretty heavy to do it.
It's like $8.50 a unit for a year. I mean, one-time shop, let's say $8.50. That's what I look at. For a year.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right to me.
$8 for the whole year, per unit.
75 cents.
Oh, for the whole year.
Yeah.
$8 a year. Okay.
$7.95.
$8.95.
Yeah.
$7.95.
So, yeah, $8 a unit, that's what I figured.
Okay, I go for minutes.
$6 a unit for the whole year.
Oh my gosh, no.
Just want to throw that out there.
We are on Exhibit E, and that's line 4, switching Hastings Gym to the aerobics room.
You know, we've let some other things go on the Hastings, you know, we didn't do the upstairs yet, you know, what we were trying to do. Things have been slide. But I think because of the trip and fall that we had here, I think it's, and that's probably gonna cost us something, I would imagine, with insurance after their claim, or did we solve that deal?
I don't know.
I don't know where that's at, but, you know, but it's nothing less than 30,000, so you might as well just say in this 60, let's get it safe for down the road for everybody so it doesn't happen, you know?
Well, my thought is why not finish it all at one time? Because especially if you're gonna do lighting, then you would have to move the equipment to get up into the ceiling.
And the same
I agree
and
100%.
Lighting and ceiling tile will be
Right.
both.
So why would you move the equipment twice?
Yeah.
3 times, actually.
I'm only gonna do, I said I would do the aerobics room, get it all said and done.
Right.
And then just basically move everything over there and then finish off the aerobics room.
Yeah, but
Yes,
Go ahead, Richard.
or do you do
Her, Sarah,
So Sarah's one of our
No, I just want-
aerobics instructors.
go on.
can I?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I've been going there for 20 years. And it's never looked better. I don't think the rooms should be changed for that reason. They're both roughly the same size.
They're not.
No, they're not.
totally different inside?
Well, there's nobody rushing into anybody. There's much space for everybody to do what they have
Aerobics,
to do.
yes, but not the gym. But you know what? I will come see me and we'll go over there together and I'll go over it with you.
Okay, I appreciate it. And, I mean, I think you work beautifully.
We're disrupting, we're turning the world upside down, I know.
Well,
But it seems to me some things are best left alone.
well, Okay, move on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Thank you.
You are.
Number five,
Fixing
yes.
the gate at the entrance to the main clubhouse island and removing the chain link fencing, $8,400.
Yeah, it's been damaged. We had some kids that managed to lift the green-coated chain link and come under and, oh yeah, this was a while ago, but we never fixed it. So it kind of juts up and sticks out. It doesn't go to the ground anymore. So you know what? I don't want to put chain link anywhere. So it's just that one section that we would replace it and put in the white, pretty anodized to match the gate.
Razor wire included?
You know, the county will not allow that.
I know.
I know.
I think we should build a solid wall with glass on it.
That razor wire here.
Can't do that.
You do, but once you take it down, you can't put it back.
They've had more trouble with
Picnic Island and security cameras, I'll let you know.
I have a question about that.
Okay,
Since 1972, I'm not a big fan of cameras. I'm going to take that from the get-go. I realize you need some in some spots. But since 1972, we haven't had cameras on Duck Island. What do we have to have cameras on Duck Island for? That's all I want to know.
I think you're gonna find out.
no, I mean, listen, you live here, how long have you lived here? You see the things that go on.
20 years.
Right, so cameras protect us. It's much harder to file a lawsuit when you've got video footage showing something else. And where the committee at one time did not allow me to put cameras, what we did find is that that woman that drowned in our pool, we did have footage on it because we had cameras on our storage areas behind the clubhouse, happened to catch the drowning. There was no lawsuit involved there. So anything can happen on Picnic Island. Think about it. People go there, they drink. It's a little less. I heard that.
No, it's a different question.
So it protects the residents because listen, you pay for it. The lawsuits, your premiums go up. That's on you guys. You pay for it. So.
I'm just saying, I'm not a big fan of cameras.
I know, Big Brother is watching, I get it, George Orwell. I know, but they don't, the footage doesn't lie, and it puts us in a good position sometimes.
Just had to voice my.
That's okay,
John, I agree with you that cameras sometimes are not appropriate, but in many cases, it has helped us where you know, the coin has three sides. The camera only has one side, what actually happened.
It's, right. So we are extending our reach, that's one of the last places. But as we go along and things happen in areas where we have no cameras, we'll be adding cameras.
Donald has a question.
Yeah,
Make it clean.
Donald loves cameras.
No, you love them.
And I'm gonna give you a reason.
I know.
Very recently, well, not so very recently, a heroin dealer was arrested on property, and part of his sentence was that he was never to set foot in Century Village again. And then, well, of course, he has to sell heroin, right? So he came back, and an association's camera picked it up, no questions asked, right to jail he went. He's been there for 6 months, and I'll be speaking at his sentencing next month.
Excellent.
And this is the kind of thing.
I know, I reported.
This is the kind of thing that cameras catch and prevent.
Right, right, exactly, the incident at the Kent pool, you know, they don't even, people mostly, even though we post signs, smile, you're on camera, they forget about those cameras, right? I've seen amazing footage, I have to watch it all. And you know what? Doesn't lie. So when we had 7 cop cars over at Somerset, we had the footage, because it all unfolded in front of the cameras, and it's a done deal. So, I know, you're just gonna have to get over it, John.
I understand.
John, leave your leg home. We're on the last one.
Last one there.
Number 7, Hastings Annual Roof Inspection.
That's just the
Yes.
inspections that we get for insurance purposes and all, just to make sure any problems.
Line item stays as presented. The line item is $771,760. Okay. On to page 5.
All right, thank you, line 58, waterway maintenance. You can see we're $29,000 over budget this year. Unfortunately, that was due to the contract for the Weir Canal cleanup. When we did the budget last year, we didn't have an estimate, so we guessed at $50,000, and we were short by $29,000 for that cleanup. But this does include 3 contracts with Solitude Lake Management, the cleaning of the main waterways, and the basic lake assessment, and the aerator maintenance. Our current contracts expire October 31, and they did request a 5% increase, which is reflected in these numbers already. Also, we have the mid-spray annual cost for the mid-spraying at $10,340 and $1,500 for miscellaneous costs, and the annual fountains acid wash $925. So the budget we're asking for is $58,791, which is a big decrease from the prior year when the request was $106,000. Any discussion? Okay. Line 59, road maintenance. We're only asking for $5,000 for miscellaneous repairs this year. Line 60, uniforms, we're asking for $650 for purchasing of new shirts for the maintenance staff and any new hires. Line 61, shoreline expenses, we're asking for the same budget this year, $2,000. We only spent $500 this year, so we're hoping $2,000 will be okay. And line 62, your Hastings maintenance and repairs. This is for your fitness equipment repairs as needed at $8,000. And also the expected increase in repairs for your cardio equipment, which is 11 years old. And our annual maintenance contract, which is $7,062 to cover both the old and the new equipment. So $15,000 even. That concludes the maintenance and repair section. Do we want to stop now and reconvene, or do you want to keep going? It's up to you guys.
Yes, John?
I make a motion that we set a date for our next budget meeting, and we adjourn this meeting.
That's fine by me. Do we have a date picked yet, or are you going to let us know?
Well, I was thinking about either Monday, September 11th, or Tuesday, I believe, is the 12th. Would either of those days work for you guys?
Tuesday.
Either one is great. Now, Tuesday, well, the 11th would be good for me, but 12th would be good for me.
I think we should.
11th or 12th, is it?
The 12th, I think, would be better than 12th.
Tuesday the 12th?
Yeah, of course.
It's a
Okay.
Tuesday like we usually meet.
Yeah, Tuesday, I always have Tuesday block.
Okay, so Tuesday, September 12th at 1 o'clock?
Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
And
All right.
security. Security will be the opening line.
Right.
Good discussions, everybody.
Tuesday, September 12th.
Are you going to
It
have?
was very interesting and it shocks me for how much they're interested.
Yes.
We will. Yes, and hopefully we'll be able to get a
Excuse me, we're not adjourned yet. We're trying to, yeah, when you're talking, people are getting up, people are having conversations. So we have a date set for Tuesday, 9/12/23 at 1 p.m. and it's going to be in this room, right? Room C?
Right.
Anything else that we need to discuss before we close? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you guys for your patience.
Have a wonderful trip home, and don't trip on your way home.
David.
I'm not ready to take this. Oh, you can take it.
No, not just,
I don't think, I don't think.
Are you gonna do that meeting Friday on the 8th? It'll be upstairs. That's the whole idea.